North Korea, officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, stands as one of the most secretive and isolated nations on the planet. Its story is steeped in a complex history that has shaped its current identity. The roots of this isolation can be traced back to the early 20th century when Korea was under Japanese colonial rule from 1910 to 1945. During this dark period, the Korean people faced immense suffering as their culture and identity were systematically stripped away. The end of World War II brought liberation, but it also led to the division of Korea along the 38th parallel, with the Soviet Union occupying the north and the United States controlling the south. This division set the stage for the Korean War in 1950, a brutal conflict that pitted North Korea, led by Kim Il-sung, against South Korea under Syngman Rhee. The war was devastating, resulting in millions of casualties and leaving the Korean peninsula divided without a formal peace treaty. The heavily fortified border became a stark reminder of the ideological rift between the two nations. In the aftermath of the war, Kim Il-sung solidified his power, establishing a regime based on the ideology of juche, or self-reliance. This philosophy emphasized complete control over society and a rejection of foreign influence. Kim built a personality cult around himself, prioritizing military strength and ideological purity. Juche became the cornerstone of North Korea's isolationist policies, justifying its refusal to engage with the outside world and fostering a nationalistic worldview among its citizens. As the Cold War progressed, North Korea's isolation deepened. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked a turning point, as North Korea lost a crucial economic ally, while South Korea surged ahead, transforming into a thriving democracy. Meanwhile, North Korea faced economic decline, exacerbated by famine in the 1990s that claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. Despite this suffering, the regime clung to its self-reliant policies, rejecting foreign aid and further alienating itself from the global community. Entering the new millennium, North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons intensified under Kim Jong-il and later Kim Jong-un. The regime's missile tests and nuclear detonations sent shockwaves around the world, signaling its defiance against international pressure. These actions are not merely about military power. They represent a commitment to sovereignty and a refusal to conform to global norms. International efforts to engage North Korea have largely failed, with sanctions only pushing the country further into isolation. Diplomatic talks, including high-profile summits, have offered brief glimpses of hope, but the underlying issues remain unresolved. Despite its isolation, life in North Korea continues, shaped by loyalty to its leaders and a strong sense of national pride. The streets of Pyongyang are filled with activity, as citizens participate in state-sponsored events and uphold the ideals of juche. North Korea's history of alienation is a complex tapestry woven from political philosophy, national identity, and survival strategies. While the world embraces globalization and diplomacy, North Korea remains steadfast in its isolation, believing that its unique path is the only one it can take. This isolation has become an intrinsic part of its identity, a nation that remains both a mystery and a reality for many.